The last thing I expected while fixing my smudged mascara in my parents' guest bathroom was Herman's rough hands gripping my hips, his whiskey-hot breath on my neck, and the whispered words that unraveled my life. "You've been driving me crazy since you turned 18, Charlotte. Welcome back, loves." Before we dive into this twisted tale, smash that subscribe button if you haven't. It keeps this channel alive. To everyone already here, thank you. Now grab your wine and let's get messy. I was 22 when it happened, fresh out of college, drowning in student debt, and crashing at my dad Eugenie's suburban Ohio ranch house while job hunting. Dad's best friend Herman, 48, divorced, with a gym rat physique and a smile that could melt polar ice, had been a fixture at family cookouts since I was in pigtails. He would pat my head, call me kiddo, and bring me licorice from his gas station runs. Harmless. Until it wasn't. That 4th of July barbecue changed everything. Mom was grilling burgers, Dad was drunk on Bud Light by noon, and Herman showed up wearing a gray V-neck that clung to his chest like a confession. We had been dancing around something for weeks, lingering glances, accidental hand brushes when passing beers. But that day, when I tripped carrying potato salad, he caught my elbow. His thumb stroked my inner wrist. "Careful, Charlie girl." I fled to the bathroom to cool off. 2 minutes later, the door clicked open. "Occupied," I yelled. "It's me." Herman's voice was low, urgent. I opened the door, ready to scold him. Instead, he crowded me against the sink, cologne and desperation thick in the air. "We can't," I breathed, even as my hands fisted his shirt. "Can't what?" His lips grazed my earlobe. "Haven't even touched you yet." The kiss was all teeth and hunger, his fingers digging into my waist. Guilt burned my throat, but not enough to stop. When we pulled apart, he pressed his forehead to mine. "This stays here." I nodded, dizzy. But secrets have a heartbeat, and ours was just getting started. 3 weeks after the bathroom incident, Herman texted me, "Meet me at the gym. 8 p.m. Side door." I told Dad I was going for a late run. The lie tasted like rust on my tongue. The gym was empty except for the janitor mopping a lobby. Herman stood in the shadow of the weight rack, hood pulled low. He didn't smile when he saw me, just grabbed my hand and led me to the staff bathroom, locking the door behind us. "This is insane," I hissed, but my body arched toward him like a question. "Insane's the only thing that has felt real since my divorce," he said, crowding me against the cold tile. His hand slid under my leggings, rough and possessive. "You gonna tell me to stop?" I didn't. Afterward, he zipped his hoodie like nothing happened. "Your dad can't ever know." Obviously, I snapped, hating how small my voice sounded. But guilt curdled in my stomach. Dad trusted Herman like a brother. They had been Marines together, saved each other's lives in Fallujah. Now, every Sunday when Herman came over to watch football, I would chew my nails raw, waiting for him to slip up. He never did. He has done this before, I realized. The affair became a fever. Motel rooms off Route 42. Quickies in his truck behind the Kroger where Mom shopped. He would leave bruises where my clothes hid them and call me, baby girl, in a voice that made me forget my own name. One night, as I sneaked back into Dad's house at 2 a.m., the porch light flicked on. "Charlotte?" Dad stood in the doorway, squinting. "Where the hell were you?" "Jenny's apartment," I blurted, naming my college roommate who lived 3 states away. "She's going through a breakup." Dad stared at me. My neck still smelled like Herman's cologne. "You're a terrible liar," he said finally. "But I guess that's my fault for raising you honest." I vomited in the bushes after he went back inside. Herman started showing up unannounced. At my job interview, outside my yoga class. Once, he followed me into a dressing room at the mall, pinning me against the mirror while shoppers walked past the curtain. "You're obsessed," I whispered, equal parts terrified and thrilled. "You knew what I was," he said, biting my shoulder. Don't act innocent now. Things got darker. He gave me a burner phone. Threatened to send Dad our photos if I try to end it. I cried the first time he said he loved me, not because I believed him, but because I knew I would let him destroy me. Then one rainy Tuesday, Dad invited Herman over for poker night. Bring the good whiskey, Dad yelled as Herman walked in. Herman's eyes locked on me. He smirked, brushing my hip as he passed. Hey, kiddo. I dropped the chips. Dad laughed. You okay, Char? You're sweating like a sinner in church. Herman kicked off his shoes, my socks on his feet, the ones I had lost last week. That's when I smelled it. Another woman's perfume on his jacket. 2 pink lines. That was all it took to turn my chaos into a catastrophe. But Herman's secret? It was darker than a back alley abortion. And way more dangerous. The pregnancy test burned a hole in my purse during Sunday dinner. Dad grilled steaks while Herman held court at the table, laughing too loud at his own jokes. Every time our eyes met, he would wink like we were sharing a secret. We were, but now there were 3 of us. You're not eating, Char, Dad said, nudging my plate. Just tired. I forced a smile, but Herman's gaze sharpened. He knew, of course he knew. Later, he cornered me in the garage, pinning me between the lawnmower and his rage. You keeping something for me, baby girl? Like you're keeping that blonde from the gym? I spat. His grip tightened. What the hell are you talking about? Her perfume's still on your jacket. He smirked. Jealous? I'm pregnant. The words hung like a noose. His face went slack. For the first time, Herman looked scared. You're lying. 8 weeks. I shoved the test at him. Happy fucking Father's Day. He paced, running hands through his salt and pepper hair. Get rid of it. Or what? You will tell my dad? My laugh cracked. You're screwed either way. You think I'm scared of you, Jean? He stepped closer, voice venomous. I buried a wife, Charlotte. One more body won't. The garage door creaked. We froze as Dad poked his head in. You all good? Heard raised voices. Just showing Herman Mom's new hydrangeas. I chirped, voice shrill. Dad frowned. In the garage? Herman slipped into character, slinging an arm around my shoulders. Your girl's got a green thumb, Jean. Unlike your burnt-ass steaks. Dad left laughing. I vomited in the tool sink after. I dug into Herman's past that night. His dead wife, Sarah? Car accident, 2017. Except. Facebook comments from her sister. You killed her and you know it. Police reports danced around suspicious circumstances. When I confronted him at Motel 6, he palmed my throat against the headboard. Keep digging, and you'll end up like her. But I had already emailed the sister. Her reply came at 3 a.m. Sarah was pregnant too. Dad found the emails. I had been careless, leaving my laptop open on the couch while I showered. When I came downstairs, he was standing in the living room, face gray as cigarette ash, Sarah's sister's messages glowing on the screen. Herman's a monster. He will kill you too. Charlotte, he said quietly, explain. My throat closed. I had rehearsed this moment 100 times, but now, nothing. Herman chose that exact second to text me. Come over. Now. The ping cracked the silence like a gunshot. Dad snatched my phone, reading the message aloud in a voice that shook with rage. Come over. Now. He looked at me, eyes red-rimmed and wild. Is this him, Herman? I nodded, tears hot. He moved faster than I had ever seen. Grabbed his hunting rifle from the hall closet. Dad, no. Get in the truck. Herman answered the door shirtless, smirk already forming. It died when he saw the rifle. Jean, let's talk. Dad fired a warning shot into the ceiling. Plaster rained down. You slept with my daughter? Herman raised his hands, calm as a snake. She came on to me. What was I supposed to do? Liar. I screamed. Dad lunged, cracking the rifle, but across Herman's jaw. They crashed into the coffee table, fists flying. I sobbed, begging them to stop, until Herman pinned Dad beneath him, hands around his throat. Should have died in Iraq, Herman spat. I'm pregnant. The words tore out of me. Herman froze. Dad gasped beneath him, wheezing. What? 8 weeks, I whispered. It's his. Herman stood slowly, wiping blood from his mouth. You really are your father's daughter. Can't even shut up when it will save your life. Dad crawled toward me, tears cutting through the blood on his face. Why, Charlotte? Why him? The door burst open. Cops swarmed in, guns drawn. Neighbors had heard the shot. Herman instantly switched masks, pointing at Dad. He has gone crazy. Threatened us both. As they cuffed Dad, he stared at me, voice breaking. You chose a killer over your own flesh and blood. I had planned it for weeks. Sarah's sister, Mara, FedExed me the evidence. Voicemails of Herman threatening Sarah, receipts for a life insurance policy he had taken out days before her accident. I had stitched it all together while Dad rotted in jail, refusing my visits. Herman thought he had won. He brought me daisies, Sarah's favorite, and kissed my forehead at the park where families picnicked. We will tell Eugene the baby is mine after the trial, he said, rubbing my still flat stomach. He will want me to take care of you. I smiled, pressing record on the burner. You never loved me, did you? Just wanted to hurt Dad. He chuckled, oblivious. Love is for suckers. But you? He squeezed my thigh. You're the best lay I've ever had. I stood, nodding to Mara across the park. She called 911. What are you doing? Herman frowned as sirens wailed. Confessing. I pulled the positive pregnancy test from my purse, expired, from 3 years ago. I am not pregnant. But you just admitted to killing Sarah and blackmailing me on tape. His face twisted. You bitch. Cops tackled him as I spat in his face. Rot in hell. Dad was released the next day. I waited on his porch with Mara and a file of evidence. He walked past me like I was a ghost. I'm sorry, I said, voice breaking. He paused, back still turned. You used me. I wanted him gone. And what would it cost? He gestured to the house, Mom's hydrangeas dead, walls still stained with his blood. Your soul? He slammed the door. Mara hugged me as I crumpled. You did the right thing. But guilt tastes like ashes. I had destroyed my father to destroy a monster. Now we were both hollow. Herman got 25 to life. Dad changed his number. I moved to Oregon, changed my name, and had a baby girl last spring. Her name is Sarah. And when she is old enough, I'll tell her how to spot a wolf in sheep's clothing. Drop your thoughts below, loves. Was Charlotte justified? Should Herman rot forever? Could you forgive her? Let me know, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these twisted tales alive. New story drops tomorrow. Smash that bell icon or you'll miss it.